So here's a wild tour story. Last EP we had put out, it was independently. We got some traction with this song, Testify, that came out. And I was doing my first South by experience. First South by ever. If anyone knows anything about South by, it's already kind of crazy. There is a brunch that BMI has, and it's early in the morning. And at that point, we were already in the middle of a tour. So we were doing South by, smack dab. Tour is really difficult. If you're a solo artist, you have your band and everybody has to feel comfortable. And by this point of the tour, everybody was exhausted. But here's how I set up the South by. It was like a major brunch. You have Zane Lowe, who's like one of my favorite DJ personalities there. You have some of like the biggest people in the music industry at this brunch. So unfortunately, the night before brunch, we wind up having to let go of like 2 important players. So it was a lot of drama with that, booking people flights. But the weird part of the story is I actually booked my guitar player, who at the time we were like, we have to send you home. I booked him a flight for the next day. So that morning, instead of when he had to leave. Mind you, we have like the biggest show. I don't know who's gonna play for this show at this point. My manager's trying to call people to find another player. At this point, I've gotten no sleep. We like lost the drummer that night. This is like not a great story. It's like actually pretty sad, but like we literally were like losing players left and right. Everybody wanted to go home. Everybody was kind of exhausted. The whole time they're just hyping up, but like tomorrow's like the biggest show. Tomorrow's like everyone's gonna be there. We gotta make it work. So we wind up letting the guitar player go. And then he gets to the airport and he's like, actually, they sent my flights for tomorrow. At this point, when he had called me, we were already getting ready for the show, which again, we hadn't practiced with this keyboard player. I didn't even know his name at that point. We were getting ready. I had gotten no rest. So then we finally get to the venue that we're gonna play. And I look at the keyboard player. I'm like, can we find like a keyboard around here so that we can like rehearse? At that moment, he didn't know any of the music. We didn't rehearse at all. So we go to start practicing, or start playing, and everyone in the dining hall misunderstands, and they actually think that it's a show. So like they really start clapping, and then they like start really engaging with us. They're like, okay, we did a good job. So then we go down to play the actual show. This doesn't really have much of an arc, except it was like one of the hardest days, but we actually go down to play the show. There's Zayn, there's like all these famous artists that are out there. They're just vibing. The whole time my monitor's not on. We had sent the guitarist home, the drummer had left. And we play the show and everything's fine and it worked out. I don't know why I told that story. It's actually a horribly sad story, but it was still a moment when I was like, just no matter how exhausted I felt and no matter how I thought everything was crumbling at the end of the day, like it was in the music and that guy just vibed and we did a great job and nobody died, but we fired 2 of the players. And to this day, BMI has that video recorded and I can look at myself and be like, you thought it was the end of the world. Like you had no idea how you guys were gonna get through the rest of the tour. And we did, and we played, and Zayn stayed for the whole set. I think the lesson I learned is that it's all on the inside of you. Like, I think that if you love music, you grew up like me, just being able to like get on stage and just like, you got to do it. If you got a voice, like at the end of the day, it's great to be prepared and it's great to like rehearse, but music is something that you should definitely feel. And the music is definitely something for connecting with people. And in that moment, I had to find real connection because I didn't know what was going to happen with that show. I didn't know if it was going to be great or not. Probably sucked, but I enjoyed myself.